In this episode, we're going to look at file size and image output. Now I have opened this original boy image from the previous video where we processed this image using Adobe Camera Raw. Now because we did all of our editing in Adobe Camera Raw, I don't have to do anything to this image with respect to tonal adjustments or color. If, however, I make a print of this image and I want to make subtle adjustments to it, I can do that without really degrading the image at all. And my color will reproduce properly. I'm going to go up to image size. And when I select that, we get this window that comes up. And this window tells me some important information. It tells me my image size, which is 206 megabytes. The dimensions of the image in pixels. So the image is 4,800 pixels wide by 7,500 pixels high. It tells me the size of the document in inches. So this image is 16 by 25 inches. So if I was to make a print of this photograph, it would print properly at 25 by 16 inches with a resolution of 300. And that's important to note because most printers print at an output resolution of 300 dpi. If I was to select a resolution of 200 dpi, that will take away some of the data in the image, and my image may start to look pixelated or less sharp because I don't have as much pixel resolution to create that sharp image. And we'll notice that we have a resample button here. What that does is whenever I resize my image, Photoshop will resample the image and keep it at 300 pixels per inch. Now you'll notice that there's a little icon here that looks like a chain with two lines going to both the width and height. I'm going to deselect that. And watch what happens when I change the width of this image to 7 inches and hit the OK button. Now all of a sudden my image is still 25 inches in height, but only 7 inches wide. So the image did not scale down appropriately. I'll hit the Command Z button to reverse that and go back into image size. And I'm going to select my little chain here, which looks like a link. And let's say I want to make a print that is 10 inches in height. I'm going to change 25 to 10, and I'm going to hit OK. Now we can see that that image is 10 inches in height by 6.4 inches in width. And because I had the link selected, it scales both the height and the width of the image down proportionally. And here we are zooming in on the image again. Let's say I want to take this image to my website and I need to create a JPEG. I'm going to go up to File, Save As. Make sure that As a Copy is selected. And I'm going to select JPEG format. So what this does is it doesn't save over my original Photoshop document. I still keep that document, but it's going to save it as a copy, which is a JPEG file. And the JPEG file is a compressed file, and it's good for uploading to websites. We don't necessarily want to upload a full Photoshop file to a website because the file's so big and it would take a really long time to load. So when I hit the Save button, I get a window up called JPEG Options, and I would set it at maximum, and then I'm going to hit OK, and now Photoshop has saved a copy of this image as a JPEG file. So what I'd like to point out here is I don't shoot a separate RAW and a JPEG file. I don't process out a separate RAW and a JPEG file and retouch both. What I like to do is output one single Photoshop document, and then in that document do any retouching or color correction that I may have to do to this image, and then resave that image as a JPEG. And this means that I only edit the image once. I don't have to edit both my Photoshop file and a JPEG file. I don't have to edit both my RAW and a JPEG file. I basically edit the image once and then output it in different formats when I need to. And that's how I work. Now, if you ask 10 different photographers, you are probably going to find 10 different answers. But for me, I find this is efficient because I don't want to retouch images twice. So there we have it for image size and file output. And I would say, for the most part, you'll be saving a Photoshop file and a JPEG file. And I think this will serve most of your purposes.